Hello, welcome to the Legit Four. Are you ready for Autumn Regionals?
I'm CJ,
I'm Mordecai.
and we would like to help you on your way to the VGCs this year. We're taking liberties and hoping that you know how to breed and that EV train. If not, we'll probably cover that in another video. But if you have a team set together you think you want to take to the VGC, just start trying to battle it online against other people who are also on the rating battles. So if you haven't signed up already on Pokemon.com, go ahead and do that and start on the rating battles that are really up the difficulty if you're just doing the free battles for now.
You gotta be able to constantly doing battle spot. For the next 2 weeks, you should just be grinding at least 3 battles a night.
This year and last year, we noticed that Landorus has become quite a big threat in the VGC world.
The biggest threat about Landorus is A, its typing, and B, its power in conjunction with its speed.
Its ground flying is really
It
good.
makes Earthquake effective, even though it splits between 3 Pokemon.
Stab Earthquake is always good.
Stab Earthquake.
Very good.
It's either Earthquake, Rock Slide, or U-Turn.
Yep, and one of the biggest things too,
Superpower would be that 4th move.
probably Superpower, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and either U-Turn or Knockoff. I've seen Knockoff every once in a while, so you gotta be watch out for that. Personally, what would you do for a Landorus counter?
My recommendation is a bulky water type that uses special attack.
Do you have any examples of a bulky water type?
Blastoise.
Blastoise would be a very tanky water type. Mega or just regular?
Either one works.
Interesting. So, something to consider, possibly a Blastoise. To Ice Beam or Scald's, both very good for Landorus. If a Blastoise doesn't quite fit on your team, there's a bunch of other checks and counters that would come to light for that.
Milotic.
Milotic.
It'll have plenty of special attack, so you don't really have to put too much investment. It'll be able to Oko or 3/4 Landorus. And the EV spread's probably going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to probably max that defense out because it's its like lowest stat.
A Milotic?
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, the competitive boost, once it hits the Intimidate, the attack's going to go down and the special attack's going to go up.
If you're making a Landorus, you turn out or have to switch, you're doing the right thing. So, if you have ice coverage or maybe a strong bulky water type, that's a really good start for Landorus. If you don't outspeed it, if you don't do the speed to outspeed Landorus to get a kill on it,
Bulk
or,
it out.
or one hit KO, you want to bulk it.
Use bait, too, for your teammate. You know, you're going to run the bulky Pokemon and then you're going to run the bait. And so you're going to trick them into locking into that and having your tank last even longer.
Send out Pokemon you know it's going to try and go for an Earthquake or Rock Slide and then switch into a Flying Pokemon or something. That's why Rotom's such a big threat, because it has that Levitate access. Doesn't get hit with, it doesn't care about Intimidate, and it's got that Hydro Pump that can really hurt a Landorus, so that's a big thing.
Another threat would be Kangaskhan. What do you have to say about Kangaskhan? Other than he's a bastard.
Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan's really got a buff since in 6th gen, I feel. It was a mediocre type Pokemon at the beginning. Didn't really have too much going for it, but with that Parental Bond, it really hits a lot harder than it used to, for sure, from when we first started playing Pokemon. So for Fake Out, you either want to protect or have another Fake Outer to help soften the blow of the first turn and just make sure everything kind of goes, don't let them get a free turn on you. You really want to kind of out-tank a Kangaskhan, I feel. You really need to be able to take a Sucker Punch, a Drain Punch. It has access to fighting, normal moves.
Priority.
Yep, lots of priority, so you gotta watch out for Kangaskhan, for sure. He's decently bulky. People are investing max defense on Kangaskhan this year just because of how many physical threats are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta kind of have something around that can kind of tank. Really hard work, a strong special attacker as well. Aegislash, it's pretty good against Kangaskhan.
Yeah. They also have King Shield, so it makes
King Shield.
Kangaskhan not really that much of a threat.
Sucker Punch, but it is an Aegislash.
True.
Yep. So just be wary of Sucker Punch and Fake Out. It's priority.
Slash is Will-O-Wisp?
Yes.
Yeah. Nope, can't.
No, cannot learn Will-O-Wisp. So Aegislash, the whole Will-O-Wisp section, cut that out of there. So Aegislash, good. Yeah, it doesn't get hit with that Fake Out, but it can get hit with that Sucker Punch, so you gotta be wary of that. Kangaskhan, bring some fighting. It's got one weakness, exploit it, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Blastoise also counters that.
It's good.
With a Horus Sphere.
Yeah.
We're gonna mega max out that damage.
It's good. Good. Alright, so Let's talk about Amoonguss. So Amoonguss, you gotta be prepared for as well because it's very hard to deal with its move set that it has. It has access to Spore and Rage Powder. Do you have any advice to be able to deal with an Amoonguss?
Grass type.
It is a grass type, yes.
No, because a grass type because it makes it immune to Spore and Rage Powder, so you can freely move around. Or you give it safety goggles for the same effect.
Yep, that'd be good too. That's a good way to stop from the Rage Powder and the Spore. It's a good switch to have there on a team. Double hitting moves like Blizzard or Heat Wave are good. They just have low accuracy, so it's kind of risky to do it that way. But other than that, yeah, I think that's a really good, solid idea to be able to stomp against the Rage Powder. It's got very high HP and defenses, so just be wary to be able to hit it hard or tank it. You know, one-on-one, it's not so bad, but it's protecting the team. So if you can get rid of the team and it just comes down to Amoonguss, I think it'll be okay. So other than that, what other threats would we like to talk about?
Heatran.
Heatran, okay.
Fire steel type with flash fire. It's pretty bulky. Usually you see them, they're more specially defensive than physically defensive.
A lot of people are going with fighting to deal with Heatran over ground because a lot of the competitive players out there are starting to either give it a Shuckaberry
Or a balloon.
They like to
It's funny.
Yep, they like to protect it from its quad weakness, which is smart, and be prepared to take it out another way if you have to. I believe, what other threats could there be this year?
Cress.
Cresselia could be a big one. It's tanky as well. It's
Mainly you'll see them for Trick Room.
Trick Room or Icy Wind to slow you down, or Helping Hand is a really big thing too.
Mm-hmm.
It gets Psychic, so that's a big thing. It's usually carry Psychic, I believe, just for Amoongusses. I've seen the ones that are really prepared have that, and Icy Wind for
And
letters.
it's stab, so you can't
stab.
really go wrong with stab.
Nope.
I mean, I'd go 3 status and an Icy Wind.
Yep. So I believe Cresselia is weak to Dark and Bug.
And Ghost.
And if you can hit it with those hard, do it. If you can taunt it, it's also smart. Can either, if it's running either Helping Hand or Trick Room, stops that. And it's relatively fast though.
Definitely a speedy tank.
Yep, a speedy tank for sure. That's why it's so useful with its levitate ability, being so fast, you know.
And access to plenty of recovery.
Yep, and there's lots of recovery too, so it's really hard. So Cresselia and Amoonguss are probably around the same tier of tankiness, I believe. Usefulness as well.
Mega Gardevoir.
So if Gardevoir comes out as regular Gardevoir with Trace, it can Trace and Intimidate and get Intimidate back in your face, which nobody would like that if you're a physical hitter. And then other than that, being able to trace a lot of useful things, Speed Boost or Effect Spore or any of that stuff. It's really scary.
It's got coverage. It's got access to Hyper Voice with the Pixelate.
So try and prepare for that with either Fire type to resist the Fairy typing, or maybe a Steel type as well. That's why back to Heatran. Heatran's a really good Pokemon to coverage for Gardevoir if you're having trouble with a Gardevoir. Yeah, and Amoonguss as well. It's pretty good. Heatran's pretty solid as well. We've seen the top 12 teams from 2014 this year in the World Championships, and a lot of them kind of look the same. And it's kind of disappointing, but that makes it really easy for you guys to be able to prepare for the threats we want you to look out for and be ready for this year at the regionals if you plan on going, or if you're in a tournament, or just battling online. We want you to do your best. So.